What is up, Multiverse Seb here. So for today, I want to talk about one of the most important topics in the recent human history, the most controversial issue that has happened in the Philippines just a bit recently. Yes, that is right. Andrew E showing his very rare comics collection. So Andrew E, if you don't know him, is a rapper from the Philippines and one of the most famous artists in the Philippine rap game. Around last week, he appeared on Julius Babao UNPLUGGed to showcase his most treasured items. Among others was his very notorious Amazing Fantasy number 15. This Amazing Fantasy number 15 is the very issue where our favorite web slinger, wall crawler, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man first made an appearance. And I said notorious. Why? Because this has spiked up some controversy within the local comic book community. And in fact, the interview video, didn't bode too well with the local comics community. So yeah, we'd like to talk about that Amazing Fantasy number 15, which he claims is his most valued comics, as he then proceed to talking about the price amounting to 1 million US dollars. In the video, he kept flashing his AF-15 like it's the freaking holy grail, like he was Moses flashing the Ten Commandments to his people. And Julius Babao was probably melting his mind staring at that super rare comic book. Julius Babao's mind was probably going, "Woo! That's $1 million, baby!" The original printed copy of Amazing Fantasy number 15 can really be sold at 1 million US dollars, but actual comics collector and comics artists had and have been pointing out that Andrew A's copy is just a reprint copy, a facsimile. Whoa, Sab, this is outrageous. Of course, Andrew A's fans would dive headfirst into the comment section to defend him and his honor, arguing about comic books against actual comic collectors and argue against people who have more knowledge about the topic than them. These fans are arguing in the comment sections like soldiers running back naked into the brutal battlefield, and their main weapon in their hands is pag-inget piket, which literally translates to if you're envious, close your eyes. One of the reasons, and probably the slightly obvious one that the comic book collectors have pointed out as to why this holy grail of his is just a reprint, is that the 12-cent price tag on his AF-15 is different from the original one. I read comics and I'm part of the local comic book community, but I'm no expert and I won't claim as one. But looking at it, in the original, you can see that the color of the price tag is an obvious white, whereas in his copy, it is colored yellow. Here, I will show it to you. So that alone is a valid argument why his copy is not an original print and shouldn't go as 1 million US dollars, but way, way, way lower. So Bob Barker, the price is not right. And the Amazing Fantasy number 15 wasn't even graded yet. I believe none of the comic books that he showed were graded. So he shouldn't go giving his comic books a very high price or telling that his comics have that high grade or telling that his comics are perfect 10. Come on, that's sacrilegious. You know what? I'll show you what a CGC graded comic book looks like. The CGC and legit comic book collectors take this thing seriously, take this grading system and the grade seriously. And as you saw on the image that I showed you, there was a grade on the top left corner of the comics. And the grading system isn't just oh, you got an untouched comics, that's perfect 10 baby. Woo! It doesn't go like that. And comics have to go through certain process of evaluation which are done by professionals, and just because your comics are untouched doesn't mean that they're perfect 10. There's a certain process of evaluation before before we can find out what your comic books or items grades are actually are. Okay, but why was he claiming all this? What's up with the story of an American soldier just randomly selling him this amazing fantasy number 15? Is this story true or just fabricated? I think this story has a chance to be true. Maybe he did buy this from an American soldier claiming to have financial problems, and when he sold it to Andrew E, he thought that he actually scored a very rare comic book, and then not knowing that this was in fact just a reprinted issue. And then maybe the American just told him that this amazing fantasy number 15 is very rare, this can be sold in a very high price, and Andrew just believed all that. And yeah, so basically maybe he just got scammed. And then Andre, being in denial, he probably just went along with this delusion that he actually scored an original printed copy, that and then he kept pushing that his reprint copy is a $1 million baby. So why won't the comics guys try to inform him about this? Well, apparently they had and have been trying to. You see, a few years ago, he joined local Facebook groups about comics, and I was actually pretty excited to learn that this celebrity is part of our comic community. But next thing I knew, I was hearing negative stories about him and his white gloves. And apparently, whenever they try to educate him about his false comic book claims, he will then block them and continue spitting misinformation like a rapper on a rap battle. Eventually, he got kicked out of the comic groups. I also learned that in other geek and collector community, he got blacklisted for similar reasons, such as in Gunpla community, he got kicked out for apparently selling bootleg items and claiming them as legit. Again, I'm not claiming to be an expert, and all these things that I know is what I garnered from the actual comic book collectors and a bit of a simple internet research. And I do think he does enjoy collecting. Like, this is an actual hobby for him that he enjoys. It's just that he misinformed people about his collections and exaggerate their values, their prices. And yeah, let's see what else he may have claimed was legit. Maybe a song that made him famous, a song that have not been a ripoff of another song with similar concept, similar lyrics, and maybe similar music as well. But yeah, that is it for today. Till next time, bye bye.